welcome. You are on the mountain with Rick, and it is time for Sunday Fun Day. But first, coffee. The unfiltered, unbeaned variety, best served cold. How in the hell are y'all doing out there in Twitchland and or YouTubeville today? We are starting late and feeling great. Having a good time. Got some good news. And maybe some bad news. But that'll come later in the show. Hoping to have some guests joining us for a fun discussion. Hopefully we will get some audience participation as well. We're going to go ahead and pop that up. And first things first, we're going to check out this Easter basket because we got an awesome partner like that. So we got some moisturizing cream because we are about to turn 40. It's about damn time to start taking care of our skin. Some foaming facial cleanser for before we go to bed. Some Robin's Egg Minis. Whoppers. Really the only way that Whoppers are actually edible is in the mini size. I love the concept of them, but the actual whole Whoppers are quite too much. And I do love me some fucking jelly beans, and I love me some Trolley Sour Bite, and she managed to find Trolley Sour Bite jelly beans, so that's fucking awesome. We're going to be digging into those. And some beef jerky. Gotta love some beef jerky. You know what? I'm actually going to save that in the drawer for when we need a fucking protein boost. And then we got this really cool, pretty kitty. Why don't you come join us? Got this really cool book, all my podcast shit. Haven't cracked it open yet, but she's been telling me a little bit about it, and it's got some names and informations for to be returned, but it's not going to be leaving this house, so that's a little bit less important. However, we got, I think the best way to do this might be for a Whisker Whispers thing, or maybe for a off the cuff thing, because it seems to be just a nice little organizer for specifically for podcasts. And yeah, help me get all my podcast shit together in one book. So hopefully one of the Whisker Whisper Joys will be popping in right about now. Alright, that didn't work as well as I hoped it would, but that's alright. We're going to keep going on regardless. And let me pop these robin eggs open, because as I said, this is the best way to have Whoppers. However, the best way to have Peeps is in the trash. Can I get an amen to that at least? There is nobody here, so of course not. Yeah, I gotta say, in that tiny little amount, that Whopper filling is actually awesome. But that big old ball, I got missing teeth that just don't work for me. Plus, the ratio of chocolate, I feel, is higher on this. And the Whoppers can get a little sticky if it gets like 2 degrees too hot. Oh, that was pretty. Sorry for the sudden darkness. I just, I noticed my background for the day, and I gotta take a screenshot of that. That's purty. And we're back. Alrighty. We are mining. Starbits Millionaire is done. Definitely that. Oh, hey, we're lucky for a bit. Probably already missed most of it, but let's go ahead and do a Run Rabbit Run while that's the case, since we have 85% energy. I said do a Run Rabbit Run. Thank you. I am getting seriously washed out like that. Yeah, I feel like that's actually much, much better. No, I don't like that. It's in the way of the screen. But how about that? Yeah, I really do feel like that's better. More adjustments pending. Alright, why are you not loading? Let's go. Okay. Come on, baby, show me high numbers. Alright, we got one good attack, 2 okays attack, and 1 crap. But it's a solid haul overall. Go ahead and pop that claim. We had forgotten about TerraCore entirely for a few days. So we got hit hard. It's not even actually showing up. It's interesting. This is not correct. And if I had been maintaining my spreadsheet, it would show that. But I got hit for 81. That was harsh. And that one was really harsh because I actually logged in and collected 3 minutes after that happened. And I was like, ah! It was rough. So check your timers, guys. Check your timers. It's all good, though. I remember that it's just a game and I'm playing with house money. And doesn't really matter. And I also remember that there's the liquidity pool, and that's where most of my shit is. So right now it's time to upgrade. I think we're going to upgrade... You know, I really like upgrading defense. But I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and say fuck it and do all of them. So we're going to do 729 and 81. That's going to be 810. Oh no, 810. So that's 1210. Okay. I was excited to get to make an 11T1 joke, but it wasn't there. It's 12T1, and that just doesn't work because that's 120. So 1,210 is what we need. We currently have 224. Hello. A little bit more hive. We'll power that up. Alright, pools, liquidity positions, swap hive scrap. I need 1,000 scrap. Remove liquidity. That is only 4.6% of my stake. Holy crap, we are starting to grow that shit pretty good. Wait, what? Oh, user liquidity. Okay, I was gonna say. Never mind, I thought that the price had changed insanely significantly, and I was about to be removing a whole lot more, but that was only because I read shit wrong, and not because I saw what I thought I saw. Yes, we are going to confirm. Yes, we are going to confirm. Yes, we are going to confirm. Boom. And so we still have 20,736 scrap in the reward pool, earning us 2 cents a day. Yeah, we should go through and pop these now. We'll put the change in there. Much easier than trying to do the math. Then Stellarum Pimp, load her up, baby. Loving that number though, 1777.67. I enjoy little coincidences like that. Has a kitty cat, I promise. Yeah, great thing. Because we have that shit in the Swap Hive scrap liquidity pool, we've been getting all this flux for free. And we've already sold some, but what we've started doing with that instead is putting it into the Swap Hive flux pool. And just stacks on those rewards. Lassie, Cash, and Puppy, nope, we don't have any. Do we have enough Nectar and Queen? Maybe. Excellent. All of these are reward coins. I don't know what half these projects are. I don't care. I take the rewards that I get and I put them into pools that earn me more rewards, and I get a bunch of shit coins that I know nothing about, and some that I used to care about. Any pool that pays out in both of the tokens that you need to put back into it, it's a winner in my vote. Especially when you consider that this drip, you get Swap Hive just for owning it. Not in huge amounts, but not terrible amounts either. And if you stake it, you earn more of it. And I have been acquiring it. I've even bought some. Because I'm seeing daily Hive earnings just for having some drip. Hasn't paid for what I bought yet. But shan't take too long. And yeah, drip is a pretty cool project. And it gives us scrap to feed back into our Swap Hive scrap pool, which also gives us Swap Hive and scrap to feed itself, and flux, as well as Pimp, which is what we pay against our Stellarum from another project. Stellarum that we earned by staking a coin that we bought for that project. Just around the corner, Astro Wars. Played it in the early alpha, and still excited for the game. We're going to see how it goes. I can't wait to unveil it. Great guy, Spirit Surge, the creator. At least to my knowledge. Friend of the show, guest of the show. Hey, look at that. My swap hive scrap is worth 6. Sorry. So used to doing my own thing now that I fucked up doing the devil horns. How do you fuck up doing the metal horns when your hair looks like this? It's like I need to go chop it all off now. FYI, not fucking likely. Kitty, why don't you come and make my stream pretty? Yeah. Or just lay right just back down and be gorgeous. Yeah. Just for you, for watching the replay. Alright, what do we want to discuss today? What's in the news? Attack on a hospital. 4 killed, 17 wounded. At least. Early estimates. Attack on a hospital. On Easter, by the way. Because, you know, religion is at the heart of all things. Yeah, these are something special. Khaled Adakran. I apologize for butchering the name. I probably would even if I tried to enunciate specifically. So, the spokesman for the hospital said several journalists were among the wounded in the attack. Israel's military said the attack targeted a command center operated by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad armed group. The government media office in Gaza said the airstrike hit a tent where displaced people were sheltering and journalists were working. Reporting from the hospital grounds, Al Jazeera's Hind Kudari said displaced Palestinians at the hospital were terrified after the attack. Everyone is terrified here. They have been seeking refuge inside this hospital for more than 6 months now, she said. Al-Dakran called on the international community to ensure protection for health workers in Gaza. Hospitals and medical teams and all health sector workers must be protected, and the international community must provide such protection, he said. Well, yeah, this is the type of thing that should fucking go without saying. It is sad how often nowadays the thing that goes without saying is often the thing that exactly most needs to be said. And that's fucking ridiculous, people. The patients, the wounded, and the displaced are in a state of panic and horror, no shit, fearing that the Israeli planes will attack the hospital again. WHO Chief Tedros said a team with the United Nations organization was at the hospital compound when the airstrike hit, and that all WHO staff were accounted for. We again call for protection of patients, health personnel, and humanitarian missions. The ongoing attacks and the militarization of hospitals must stop. International humanitarian law must be respected, Tedros said. We urge parties to comply with the UN Security Council resolution and ceasefire. Like, how many hospitals they got a bomb, Joe? Like, are you trying to give us 4 more years of Trump, Joe Biden? That gives us our next meme. We need Archer ants. Boom. All right. I like that one. It's a little edgier than anything I've done lately. Still kind of toned down. Stop genocide, free Palestine. Things that shouldn't have to be said. Schedule. Ba-da-ba. No, I'm just gonna fucking post that right now. That's more an in the moment type of thing. I lost an egg, and I do not want the pretty kitty cat to find it. Well, there's always hope. Okay. Now that our clot has ended. Pop, pop. Number 100, boom. Alright, now back to the matter at hand. Okay. Since October, more than 130 Palestinians reporting from Rafah, southern Gaza. Al Jazeera's Tariq Abu al-Zoom said the attack was a new part of the Israeli ongoing attacks on journalists. Since October, more than 130 Palestinian journalists have been killed, he added. Israel's army has been carrying out attacks in and around Al-Aqsa Hospital, among other facilities, other medical facilities in Gaza. The command center and terrorists were struck precisely, the Israeli military said of Sunday's attack, adding it was intended to minimize harm to uninvolved civilians in the area of the hospital. The Al-Aqsa Hospital building was not damaged, and its functioning was not affected. Israeli strikes have killed 77 Palestinians in Gaza in the past 24 hours, health authorities said on Sunday. More than 32,000 people have been killed in Israel's war on Gaza since the war started nearly 6 months ago, according to Palestinian officials. The assault began after the Palestinian group Hamas led an attack from Gaza on Israel on October 7, killing 1,139 people and seizing around 250 others as captives. Later on a Sunday, mediator Egypt was set to host an Israeli delegation for talks in a bid to secure a ceasefire with Hamas and an agreement for the group to release some of the roughly 130 hostages who remain in captivity in Gaza in exchange for the release of Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails. That's a good sign. It's a good sign. Not that any of this is a good sign. Pun unintended. I know that one's pretty rare for me, but yeah, this is fucking terrible. This is fucking terrible, people. And it's not as if Trump would make any of this better, or even that Biden could actually end things by himself. This is fucking Israel's doing. But and not under any circumstances would I allow this to sway my vote to Trump. But there are going to be a not insignificant people who are not going to vote for him because he is supporting them while this shit is going down. And it is absolutely unforgivable and unconscionable. And he's on the wrong side. And because of him, we're all on the wrong side. And it's fucking disgusting. It is fucking disgusting. Alright, so what we can see up here is Maysoon al-Nabahin squeezes out the last bit of carton cheese onto a freshly baked piece of bread. I think that's this one. Knowing it will be the only thing her family of 8 will eat that day. Muhammad, as she's known, fled from a school in Barej, where she, together with her husband and 6 children, were sheltering after Israeli forces destroyed their homes in East Barej in central Gaza. The 45-year-old now lives in the crowd of tents around Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir el-Balah, further south. Balah, further south. She's a petite woman, her face etched with worry, looking older than her years. In the center of their plastic makeshift tent is a small fire where Muhammad is making flatbread on a wood fire sage oven. She's surrounded by a few neatly arranged backpacks containing the belongings her family managed to bring, as well as a pile of blankets now cleared away to make space for their daytime living. Bread and carton cheese. We're eating the same thing. Canned food, carton cream cheeses, and fava beans. We heat them over the fire to eat. Sugar used to be available, but now it has become expensive. We make tree with dukkha, or thyme. It makes do. Muhammad tells Al Jazeera under the buzzing sound of Israeli drones above. There is no fresh food, only cans and cartons, and it is not enough for everyone. Like many parents across Gaza, Muhammad and her husband often go hungry to ensure their children have something to eat. Most of her children are young and in their development stages. The sweets and biscuits that were distributed by the aid agencies, when the children ate them, they immediately had diarrhea. There isn't space or water to bathe, or go to the bathroom in privacy, or clean the little children when they have diarrhea, she laments. Despite how difficult life is, Muhammad has a sense of gratitude. Her children ask her for things to eat or food they miss, but she says they have adapted. Whether food or going to the bathroom, they have found a way to survive. For 3 days before the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan, Al Jazeera followed the al-Nabahin family, recording their daily food intake to document how they, like many other families in Gaza, are surviving on the bare minimum. Like, they're fucking under siege. Like, it's not like they have somewhere to go. It's not like they're an invading army that you're fighting back. You are fucking bombing them in their homes. In their fucking hospitals. You are starving them out and stopping anything from fucking getting into them. That's fucking unconscionable. as I sit here snacking on the very things that gave these fucking kids diarrhea. So basically, it's like a fucking tortilla and some fucking Velveeta. Big tortilla? Sure. Yeah. And it looks pretty fucking good. Looks super soft and nice. Like you can tell some care went into making those because they made that themselves. But yeah, you get one tortilla with some fucking Velveeta on it, and that's your meal for the day. And you know what? Yeah, that sounds kind of terrible for one day. Doing it once is nothing. These people have been doing this shit since fucking October. Hasn't been this bad the entire time, but it's steadily getting worse, and it ain't gotten no one lick fucking better. Shared between 8 people. So yeah, at first I was thinking, well, maybe, I mean, that looks like a pile of tortillas. The Saj flatbread. That looks like a pile of Saj, so maybe they got more than one. No, that's a family of 8. I mean, you can see right there 4. It actually looks like 2 more off screen there. Oh, cream cheese. Okay. Not Velveeta. So it probably tastes a whole lot better. It's probably a little bit more nutritious, but it's probably a whole lot less filling. Mmm. Wait a minute. How are you trying to tell me that one Saj bread has 6 grams of protein? Oh, okay, never mind. Thought I had something there that didn't add up, but apparently it adds up perfectly. When nothing else is available, with nothing else available, the Al Nabahins ate the same sausage with cheese as the day before. Since we've been here, it's the same food every day. We thank God for it anyway. Muhammad says wistfully. Why? 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 Why are the people who have absolutely fucking nothing the ones who are thanking God for it anyway? Because the ones who take everything from them tell them that's what they should do. I have a child who loves to eat. I always tell him he overeats. Muhammad laughs. Laughing because it's a fucking joke, because they don't even have an idea what overeating is. Excuse me. So yeah, this is all right. 2 days in a row, they've had the same shit for lunch, and that's it. And this is not planned. I didn't even know this was here. Kind of like Simon reading his scripts for the first time, cold read. But yeah, this is just fucking ridiculous. On the third day, Muhammad managed to cook up a dish of canned luncheon meat with a chopped up tomato they got on a World Food Program aid coupon. The last time Muhammad prepared a meal for her family was when they were still at home. You want a dish with sauce on the side, but there is no sauce here. You want spices or stock cubes or other things, but there aren't any, she says. Israel has repeatedly blocked the delivery of aid supplies, including food, despite the International Court of Justice ruling in January that ordered Israel to ensure the delivery of basic services and essential humanitarian aid to civilians in Gaza. Literally dropping bombs on them, starving them out, blocking aid from getting to them, just cutting them off from the world. And not only are we supporting them, supporting the genocide, but when we do send our aid, we kill people with it. According to a United Nations-backed report published last week, half of Gaza's population, 1.1 million people, have completely exhausted their food supplies and coping capacities and are facing catastrophic hunger, the highest indicator of a famine. 1.1 million. I mean, this isn't just, somebody on the ground, somebody trying to make a name or fucking turn up, fucking catch a lick on conflating things, making them bigger than they are. This is the fucking executive director of the World Food Program. People in Gaza are starving to death right now. The speed at which this man-made hunger and malnutrition crisis has ripped through Gaza is terrifying. Also living under an overflowing plastic sheet-covered tent in Deir al-Balah are the 15 members of the al-Masri family. There is no food in the al-Masri tent. We have been here almost a month. Since then we have not eaten properly, and my children need food. They scream in hunger and cry themselves to sleep, 45-year-old Salwa al-Masri tells Al Jazeera, quivering. Salwa, who also goes by Muhammad, suffers from asthma, and her husband has a cardiac condition. Her young children plead for food, and she has nothing to give them. My young son tells me, "Mommy, I am hungry. I want to eat." I am patient with him and tell him, "Sit down, I will get it for you." But she says, that is usually a lie, as there is nothing she can do to help alleviate his hunger. Muhammad says she has been to every aid center, but all the warehouses have been cleaned out, so she returns empty-handed. She has lost considerable weight since she, her husband, 8 daughters, and 5 sons fled their home in Beit Hanun in northern Gaza to Gaza City, then to Nuseirat, and finally to this tent in Deir al-Balah. I'm afraid I'll die in the war. Who will my children stay with, and who will care for them, she says. Her heart aches. No, that's her. Her heart aches every time one of the children begs for food, and she has nothing to give them. Here's everything the al-Masri family ate over 3 days. Day 1, not a goddamn thing, not a goddamn thing. After having nothing to eat for breakfast or lunch, the family managed to get a hold of 3 tins of fava beans. Muhammad put aside the 2 twins, knowing that they may not be able to get any food tomorrow. What should I do? If I feed them today, how will I feed them tomorrow? I keep thinking, how will I provide them with food for the next day? The beans, which they eat with some bread, provide a much-needed source of nourishment, but even if every family member managed to eat half a cup, that would still put them in a severe calorie deficit. Well, yeah. I mean, it's fucking beans. It's fucking beans. I mean, I love beans, don't get me wrong. But a balanced diet do beans not make. On the 3rd day, Muhammad and her daughter managed to collect a handful of mallow, a wild winter plant they foraged for. Know how to find your food, guys. Know how to find your food. What's good up in the chat? I see somebody's in the audience finally. Thank you for joining us. This is absolutely disgusting. That's what we're doing today. Muhammad chops up the mallow leaves into a slippery paste where she adds some hibiscus and finely chopped onion. This is the closest thing she has come to preparing a meal. I haven't cooked since we've been here, she says. When we were back home, we used to eat. We were happy in our life. We thank God. No one could have imagined where we would end up. We've been humiliated, 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 she repeats. Day 3 for the al-Masri family. We got hibiscus plant and mallow plant from nearby bushes cooked with an onion and sauce bread. Again, I mean, it's not a terrible meal. Like once. Like it wouldn't be the end of your life if that was all you had for lunch one day. But there's no other food throughout the day. And all you had yesterday was some beans and a little bit of bread to scoop it up with. And then all you had the day before was not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. It's fucking disgusting. Children are dying of malnutrition. Of course they are. 1 in 3 children under the age of 2 months in northern Gaza suffer from acute malnutrition, according to nutrition screenings conducted by UNICEF and its partners. The speed at which this catastrophic child malnutrition crisis in Gaza has unfolded is shocking. especially when desperately needed assistance, has been at the ready just a few miles away, said Catherine Russell, UNICEF's executive director. Not Bob, your fucking crazy friend on Facebook. UNICEF's executive director. Fake news. 1 in 3 Palestinian children under the age of 2 in northern Gaza suffer from acute malnutrition and wasting. Children are being starved at the fastest rate the world has ever known. I mean, if you're gonna do something, do it right, right? Set fucking records. Never again, right? Never again. We really do not know about what is happening to other children to whom we do not have access. What we know and what we have been warning about is that access to humanitarian aid and delivery of humanitarian aid can really reduce the proportion of malnutrition amongst children, Adele Coder, UNICEF Regional Director for the Middle East and North Africa, said. In February, Save the Children warned that Gaza was witnessing a mass killing of children in slow motion because there is no food left and nothing getting to them. And where's the fucking left on this? Every time there's a fucking school shooting, so much outcry over kids dying. Kids are fucking dying. I'm not saying gun violence isn't a problem, but it's not the only problem where kids are fucking dying. Bomb violence is a problem too. It's not like there's any lack of gun violence in fucking Palestine either right now. Bartering olives for potatoes. Hey, at least you got bartering, right? It's the basis of capitalism. It's how capitalism continues to work when the whole system of governments as we know them falls down. That's another fantasy we can get into. Sana Hassan Abu Isa and her family of 11 have also been displaced multiple times. In December, they fled their home in East Barej in central Gaza after the Israeli army told them they had to evacuate. On foot, they fled to a school in Barej camp, where they were also told to evacuate. In search of safety, the family, along with many others, were forced to make the trek south to Deir al-Balah, where they were joined by Hassan's pregnant daughter and her husband, who fled their home in Shujayyeh. I don't think I'm doing better than that one, sorry. One of the largest neighborhoods in Gaza City. Hassan had a small convenience store as part of a social affairs project in front of her house, which has since been destroyed. The shop part of the house still stands, she tells Al Jazeera ruefully. So we took over your store so that we can use it to continue to conduct commerce. But we destroyed your fucking house because that is a symbol of hope that some part of your life might still stand. Unless we forget that any part of this is actually anything other than a land grab in the name of God. I mean, that's all it's ever fucking been. These sour bright jelly beans are saving my sanity right now. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag should be. Hit me up, trolley. Only part of the shop remains because it is legitimate money. Thank God, she says, laughing. They now live in a small tent with plastic sheet walls. The hard earth is covered with bits of faded fabric to make a place to sit. In one corner of the tent is a pile of worn-out blankets and a few bags that the family managed to bring from their home. In another corner is a makeshift kitchen with a table, a hot plate, 2 pots, a few pantry items, and bits and pieces of utensils. I mean, have I experienced a meal like this? Cooked ghetto as fuck. Not the best ingredients. Not the best equipment. Kind of dirty situation. Not super comfortable. Yes. Would I want to live like that? Absolutely not. And I mean, this is a little more extreme. I don't know, maybe I'm extreme, right? Uma-san explains how the neighboring tents barter food items. The food issue here is complex. I asked my brother's wife to give me corned meat. Today, I told her I wanted potatoes. She exchanged my olives for potatoes. I took the potatoes. She took the olives, and I sent her a cup of cooking oil, the son explains. Okay, I don't think that was actually a necessary breakdown, but thank you for providing it. Basically, they're bartering. And bartering is ridiculously difficult because you have to have something that the same person who has something you wants, and it's not always a guaranteed thing. It's almost as if we're made to work together and cooperate. If we're made at all. On the flip side of that coin, it's almost like the next step in our evolution is to work together and cooperate. So either way, maybe we should learn to get along and fucking cooperate. Just a theory. From the day we came here, it's been impossible to eat 3 meals. It's 1 meal a day, she reiterates. Uma-san has a small gas cylinder that she managed to pull out from under the rubble of her home, along with a tin of olives, a bottle of red pepper, some dried chickpeas, some spices, and some rice. Olives are an essential food. You can eat them with anything, she laughs. Uma-san's daughter is pregnant, and her due date is fast approaching. She's not going to be able to give birth in a hospital because they're bombing all of them. All of them. Last time I looked, there were only 37 remaining healthcare facilities that were left standing. I think only 15 of them were operational, and even then at extremely limited capacity. And that was before they just bombed another one last night or early this morning. She's lost a lot of weight. Typically speaking, approaching due date is not a time where losing a lot of weight is a good thing. For 3 days, Al Jazeera also documented what the Abu Isa family ate. On the first day, Hassan prepared some mashed potatoes, canned luncheon meat, olives, and a few pieces of flatbread, probably the Saj, shared among 11 family members. Each person would be lucky if they managed to eat more than 400 calories, less than half of what is needed for young children, and a fifth of what an adult would normally need to maintain their weight. And remember, that's based on the, 2,000 calories a day recommended diet. That is not based on what you actually eat. It's nothing like what I actually eat. I don't really want to get into that. I eat a lot of shit. But I eat a lot. I eat a lot. And fucking 400 calories, like, I've probably already eaten more than 400 calories worth of these fucking jelly beans. One egg is 55 cents. We crave eggs, but thank God for what we have. Why? Oh my God, why? Why? The price of an egg has since gone up to 6 shekels. $1.64 for a single egg. Yeah, I mean the one for 55 cents. That doesn't sound too crazy, cause we buy good eggs, so I think they're around $5-6 a dozen. So 55 cents per would be a little bit more expensive, but that's not because they're choosing a healthier option. They're not going for fucking range-free, organic, fucking artsy eggs. That's just the only egg you got. That's government humanitarian aid eggs. That's bare minimum shit didn't even go on the grocery store shelves eggs. For 55 cents a piece. That's the eggs that my friends would give me for free when they have a bunch of chickens, because they sold all the pretty eggs and they took all of their eggs and they just didn't want these eggs to go to waste. That's the kind of shit that we're sending them. 55 cents a motherfucking pop. Now triple it. Fucking triple it. On the second day, the family shares a bowl of canned white beans, which they got using an egg coupon, a little tomato paste added for flavor, and some bread. We make tea, but without sugar. My husband wanted sugar in his tea, but I told him we must endure and be patient. Hassan smiles knowingly. Like, normally I would say, yeah, like, maybe try and do something about it, but what the fuck are you gonna do? You are like 50 feet away from somebody with a gun, an itchy trigger finger, a bad attitude, and a predilection to hate you based on the blood in your veins. Like, oh, and let's not forget the invisible man you worship. Even though it's the same invisible man, you worship him in a different fucking way. So we're going to kill you for your land and feel justified in it. Fucking disgusting. On the third day, the Abu Isa family will eat their largest meal yet. Today's feast consists of rice and peas and some pasta with tomato sauce, which they received from a food distribution hospice. Even on a good day, at around 570 calories per person, this is still around half of what a child would need per day. Doctors are reporting that they no longer see normal-sized babies. UNFPA official Dominic Allen told journalists after visiting hospitals still providing maternity services in the north of Gaza, where the need is especially great. What they do see, though, tragically, is more stillborn births and more neonatal deaths caused in part by malnutrition, dehydration, and complications, Allen added. And where are the pro-lifers in all of this? Demanding that this shit stop? Nowhere to fucking be found. They're outside Planned Parenthood picketing. For the gram. Still wonder why pro-life ends at birth. The numbers of complicated deliveries are roughly twice what they were before the war with Israel began. Yeah, that makes sense. With mothers stressed, fearful, underfed, and exhausted, and caregivers often lacking necessary supplies. People are desperate for food. You can understand how hard it is for a mother or father to see their kids starving and not be able to sustain them. That is why UN agencies are pushing for more access to the north. Noor Hamad, a communications assistant at the WFP who oversees food deliveries, told Al Jazeera. The needs are dire and more needs to be done. Fucking disgusting. Yeah, it is. So how are you doing in the chat? What are you thinking about? Ermagerd. Alright, forget about it. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm actually going to call it. This is just... This is just not... I mean, look at those fucking legs. Like, how am I allowing this to happen? How have I not done more? Because I'm selfish and I'm suffering myself, and I feel like I'm doing the best I can, although we all know I could be doing much, much better. But I mean, hey, it feels good to look at it, right? Like, at least I'm not doing this. Maybe that's the point behind it. Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe that's why the powers that be let this go on. They're just trying to warn us, show us how much worse it can get. Maybe that's another part of why they continuously use war to keep us in line. Just remember that no matter what you do in your life, every comfort that you have comes because somebody else paid for it. Not with money. Maybe you bought your own shit with your own money that you got off your own head, working for yourself, building something from the ground up. Maybe you're really good to all your company or your employees. Maybe you treat them great. Maybe you take real good care of them. But every dollar that comes to you came from exploitation along the way. Maybe there's a better way. And on that note, we do have some big news that I was hoping there would be more here for. But it's all good. I appreciate you. The real one. And if anyone's watching on the VOD, thank you very much. This might actually be a popular one because this is going to be the last one. At least for a while. We're not quitting streaming, but I'm going to take a break on this channel. We got our name back finally. And so I have some things I want to reorganize, some things I want to plan out, some things I want to set up. And so I'm going to be taking a break from my normal Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to be taking a break from my normal Sunday, Monday, Tuesday streams on this channel. I will still be doing World Building Wednesdays with Ben on the Dragon Memories channel, as well as the live gameplay of the Two-Door Saga. And I'm still hoping to be putting together some more Whisker Whisper stuff. If I can ever rowdy up and rally the boys all together. Yeah, time zones make a hell of a difference when you're talking about the other side of the world. And three busy people who have both very busy and extremely atypical schedules and sleep schedules. So it can be rough, but I promise we haven't broken up or anything. The band is still together. We are just trying to actually get together, produce some more content for y'all on that note. But in the meanwhile, I will see y'all on the Dragon Memories channel, Dragon Memories TTV, on Twitch. And we will be doing that on Wednesday starting at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. That is 10 p.m. Mountain Time. And in the meanwhile, keep kicking ass, because you are fucking awesome.